This guy is really rad. See what I did there? Because his name's Norrin Radd. Or if you follow him in the comics, he's the White Surfer. He's white because he actually looks white instead of silver in this. Never mind. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Before we get started, guys, a shout out to our sponsor, the Coldest Water Bottle. You guys know I'm a big proponent for them. Not only their thermos, coolers, and water bottles, but everything else that they do. There are tons of things you can actually look here, from ice packs to pillows, coffee, accessories, other cool gear. Make sure to check them out. There's a link in the description below to win a free one, and then also a link where you can actually use a code and get a discount on anything they have on their website. Today on the Extreme channel, we're looking at yet another custom 1/4 scale Silver Surfer statue. That's right, I think this is the 4th, 5th, or 6th to the collection, with about 5 more coming. And I'm very excited to have this piece, and I gotta tell you, first thing when I took him out of the box, my first thoughts were I didn't know it was gonna be this big.
That's what she said.
I mean, look at the size of this thing going through the hole. Anyway, guys, very excited to share this custom piece with you. So a custom is a private unlicensed commission. It means Marvel, or whoever holds the rights to Silver Surfer, didn't say this is okay to make. But some people said, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. Now, my favorite statue is very similar to this piece. Right here, it's this Silver Surfer coming out of a black hole. That was actually one of my first reviews on the channel. It's cringeworthy to watch, but you can go ahead and check it out. And I also have another statue very similar to this coming in. This picture right here, definitely some differences, and that is actually the Dark or Black Surfer, who has some switch out options, including holding Thor's hammer, some lighting effects. Now this was also available very similar to that, and we're going to talk about that in design because we're doing an Extreme review today. We're going to look at paint, sculpt, concept, give it all ratings on the Extreme scale, and I'm very excited to get this with my Silver Surfer collection. I'm redoing my entire setup in my basement. Gonna have a room tour for you guys towards the end of the year. And one wall is just Silver Surfers. You wanna see what that looks like? I do some teases on the Extreme channel, Instagram, Facebook page, and TikTok. Otherwise, make sure you've not only liked this video, but you've subscribed to the channel and you've hit that bell notification so you can catch those room tours. So Silver Surfer is my favorite character. He was a scientist on a planet called Zenn-La named Norrin Radd. And the ultimate power in the universe, Galactus, the devourer of worlds, came to devour his planet. But Silver Surfer sacrificed himself and said, I will be your herald if you spare my planet. Which his planet ended up getting obliterated in the future anyway, but he became this cosmic powered being that floats around the universe on a surfboard, or as Mrs. X calls it, a soofboard. And again, just one of my absolute favorite characters, a lot of different reasons. He possesses qualities that I do not. Look at him around his nether regions. He has nothing. I have something. He's very humble. I am not. Our physiques are very similar, though. I gotta say that. So let's kick off this review talking about the concept of this Silver Surfer piece. Now, one of the things Silver Surfer is known for is traveling throughout the universe. He does it at super speed. He does it through black holes, and that's what you see here. Now, what I love about this is the black hole that he's coming out of is actually part of the base, just like my other statue. But it's very different. Some of the colors are different, the shape is definitely different, and as you move up, you see the surfboard is actually entangled within the black hole. So this is kind of the progression of him coming out. He's in a very surf-like stance, a very powerful stance, ready to come out, ready to fight. One of the things you're going to notice on this video is because he's painted in this silver color, which we'll talk about more in paint, a lot of the reflection doesn't do the best with spotlights on him. But he looks badass, he looks powerful, he looks strong, he has great physique. This is all one piece, and I love it because it encapsulates Silver Surfer. Now, while I don't think it beats my favorite piece, one day I'll do a brand new countdown with all of the pieces once I've received them, even though I always end up ordering more and more Silver Surfer pieces. In fact, you can go check out a semi-countdown right here that I did on a few of the different ones I already have, and I included some of the ones that are coming in like this one. But it's great for a Silver Surfer concept. Very dynamic, and that's a little bit of the design. This is what you want. And there's so many custom Silver Surfer pieces being done. Of the 6 or 7 I think I have on order, there's actually probably about 2 to 3 times that out there that are being made right now. So I give the concept a 4 out of 5. It's not entirely original. They took what other people have done, but they kind of added their own flair, which I appreciate. Now design on this piece. Really, there's not a lot to it. And if you've been watching some of my videos lately, you know that Mrs. X has been helping me assemble. So I didn't get her on camera, but if you want to see on camera, check out tons of these other videos. Here's one of my favorites right here with Mrs. X. So really, let's just talk about some of the basic aspects of design. It was 4 pieces. The base was one giant piece with the exception of this right here. This is magnetized and it covers the surfboard. The surfboard is another piece, and Silver Surfer is all one piece, which means there's no seam lines, which is fantastic. Came in this huge 81-pound box that you see right here, and it was the standard custom black foam. The top layer had Silver Surfer and the board, and then the bottom layer consisted of the base and that additional piece, I believe. Dimensions on this guy, extremely deep piece. You're talking 28 inches deep. The highest point, I believe, is right around the 23 inches or so. And then the widest point is probably about 20 inches or so. Now, you probably want to display him at an angle, kind of like I have him right now, so you can save some depth space a little bit on that. But very hard to display, although I think I have a spot that will work perfect for him. Now, one word of warning. Just got my COVID test back. Negative! Now, one word of warning. He is very back heavy. Very back heavy. I don't think he'd fall by himself, but they definitely were a little bit risky. And it just makes me nervous when you touch a 40, 50-pound statue and it shakes that much. So that's something to be aware of. I'm probably going to make sure the back is resting against a wall or something of that nature and put a little cloth in between there so it won't damage the paint too much. So I think that's a big negative. Now, this surfer doesn't have any seam lines, but I believe the black variant right here had a switch-out hand with Thor's hammer. And that's actually part of a storyline I'm just about to read, so I'm really excited to read that. Because I've never read about the Dark Surfer, and I have 2 Dark Surfer custom pieces actually coming in, and I do know in one of those storylines he actually did hold Thor's hammer. Now, it would have been cool if this statue could do that as well. I actually thought it did, because once I order something, I don't look at too many details. So I was a little disappointed it didn't, but I'm glad that there's no seam lines on it. Really designed, pretty elaborate piece. Shaky, you see that? That really scares me. Easy assembly, no seam lines. So really, the only negative with this piece is the fact that it's so back heavy. And honestly, that's a really big negative. So I think the design's a 3 out of 5. I think you don't risk a huge, giant 50-plus pound statue with something as simple as that. You should have weighed down the front of the base quite a bit more. Paint and sculpt, I like this. I like it a lot. I don't think it's the best out there, but I think it's very, very good. And I like a lot of the things they did. Check it out. All right, let's start with the base here. And before we get started, I do want to say I have spotlights right on this. So as I said, spotlights always look interesting on a silver piece. I love what they did with the colors. The blues, blacks, purples, different shades mixed together, going in and out. You have some speckles of white on it. Now up close, it has a really, I don't know if I want to call it a matte effect, but it looks better as a whole. Like as you move through it, the lights, the spotlights I have on it that make it pop look really good. I love the swirls too. Really insinuates that it's like a black hole that's moving. I think that's fantastic. Holding the front as I move it so we don't have any of those issues I talked about. But yeah, just the grooves in this, how it goes in and out, how some pieces are coming out of it. But they were very careful, probably for breakage purposes, to make sure that not too much stuff is coming out of it. I remember the custom one that I have on Galactus's hand had quite a few smaller pieces coming out that did break. So it's smart they did that, and I like how you can see through it. We didn't talk about this too much in concept a little bit at the beginning, but that's pretty neat. Now regarding Silver Surfer here, I want to talk about the paint first. I like that it's a different contrast than the board. You can see that right there. They missed out on the ripple effect. Now they didn't give him toes. They gave him some weird feet here where it's a kind of a mix between toes and feet, which we'll come back to with the sculpt. Now I like the silver. It's paint. It's not a chrome, but it shines a little bit like a chrome. So I think that's smart and different. And what's cool is it's different than all the pieces I have. So I like how it'll stand out with that. Now the anatomy on Surfer, if you think of a bald naked man, they did a fantastic job. But for me, too bulky. Not only too bulky, but like his thigh in comparison to the rest of his body. And part of it is the lunge he's at. Like I think that's accurate human anatomy. for his thighs and quads and whatnot right there. But it just doesn't scream Surfer to me. Very muscular. And with Surfer, he's always very fit. I mean, he doesn't consume any foods or anything like that, but always, you know, wanting to look like Mr. X here. And even the portrait, I think, is a little bit off for the likeness of Surfer. Certain angles, I think it looks good, and I like the stern expression he has on his face. I think that captures Surfer well. But part of it, every once in a while, you see like it misses the likeness a little bit. And of course, I don't know who they were going off of, because there was a number of different artists that worked on Surfer. And what's even more interesting is not only the colors on Surfer here. Here's just a shot of his back. Like I said, great anatomy overall, just a little too bulky for my Silver Surfer, me personally. But the light really makes some of this pop even more. So wherever you're going to display this, if you have one of these, you want to make sure that you have some good light on it, because it really makes it come to life. So yeah, I think a lot of cool things on the paint and sculpt. A few things I would have preferred different. But there he is. All right, paint. So really, there's silver and then the purple, blue, black stuff we talked about. A little bit of the flecks of the stars that I like that they added in. I think that, like we talked about, it would have been neat if there was some semi-translucent stuff going on. Silver Surfer, I like the color they chose. I like how it contrasts the board a little bit, but I've seen better. So I think the paint's a 4 out of 5, maybe a little bit of a weaker 4 out of 5. Sculpt, like I said, Surfer's a little bit bulky for me. Some of the proportions I'm not digging. I wish they would have done the ripple effect on his board, so I'm a little bummed by that. I love the black hole. I think the sculpt's a solid 3 out of 5. Like, the anatomy of Silver Surfer, like I said, is good. It's just not what I picture when I see Silver Surfer. Now let's talk about value. Now, if we ranked value just the price of this piece, the value would be a 5 out of 5. However, since you have to add shipping on it and the box was so big and it's a new world we live in, the value isn't the best. So they made 80 of these. I don't know if that includes the dark variant. If it's 80 of these, then they have their own separate edition size. I don't know that. Retail was $800 for this giant piece. That's not bad at all. That is a fantastic price. Now, unfortunately, shipping, which the company has no control over, was damn near close to that much, even for sea shipping. Express shipping would have been even more than the statue itself. So you're a good $1,400, $1,500 all into this. Plus, if you want to sell it, I live in the States, and locally it would probably be $300 to $400 to ship it. So someone would have to pay almost $2,000 to break even on this statue to sell it. I don't know if they could do that. I definitely think it could command a much higher price, like $1,500 or so, but there are so many custom Silver Surfers out there. So for that reason, I give it a 3 out of 5 on the value. Now, does this have the X factor? Is he a 5 out of 5 statue? Well, I like him better than some of my other Silver Surfer statues, but he's not my best Silver Surfer statue. So I think I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5. I love the size of him. It really draws you to this piece. I think a lot of people would like it. Some of the displayability is a little bit tough with the back heavy issue, with how deep it is. Like I said, the anatomy I think is a little bit off for Silver Surfer, but nonetheless, it's a cool, badass statue for sure. What do you guys think? Where does this fall in the range of other surfer statues, like some of the ones I have, like Sideshows? Throw that in the comments below, because every time you comment, increases your chances to win a statue. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Fantastic piece. He's going to look great with all the other Silver Surfer pieces. If you like stuff like this, make sure you hit that picture of me and you hit that bell notification so you know when stuff gets dropped. Also, do me a favor, check out some of these other videos while you wait for the next upload and drop me a like on your way out. I really appreciate it. Next time, I'll paint myself silver and get naked for you. Take care.